All right. We will. Hello, everybody, and welcome back again. We will continue our discussion. And what we've done is we've taken this drawing of the piston, and in the piston is the transceivers of the piston. And here is the cylinder, and it's all been exploded. These ceramic inserts are in these channels of this cylinder, and these transceiver blocks have been moved up. They would actually be down here on top of this, and we have cut away just more and more and more and more of this to make it easier and easier and easier to see. So this is a little cutaway of a little bit of the piston right there. There's a little bit of the piston, and that little bit of the piston has been cut away, and a little bit of the cylinder has been cut away. There's the cylinder. And so we went and made even more of a cutaway. And the reason we've done this cutaway is to try to let you see what's going on here. So this is just a schematic representation of the cylinder wall, and very much close to a fairly significant schematic demonstration of the piston. And you can see that the piston has a transceiver on the piston, which we've called number 1. Transceiver 1 by itself, it's in the piston. Transceiver 1 by itself is emitting radio frequency energy that's going through the wall of the piston. But then, in addition to going through the wall of the piston, that energy is also going through the wall of the cylinder. And it's not actually coming out as radio frequency radiation that's just beaming off into space. And I thought I would put up here a little bit different representation of the same thing, because the system for understanding position of the piston is related to the fact that there are transceivers. We call them piston transceivers. I've been just using the convention that the transceivers in the piston are labeled by giving them numbers, and the transceivers that are in the cylinder wall are labeled by giving them letters. And so each of these are individually separate transceivers that can be individually addressed by the CPU, and they can be individually queried for their information, and they can be sequentially addressed to give out what's going on with them one by one by one. So transceivers inside the piston have the capability to beam radio frequency energy from the transceiver that's inside the piston. It broadcasts energy through the wall of the piston, then through the wall of the cylinder, and when it comes through the wall of the cylinder, it is perceived by a transceiver of the cylinder wall. So in this particular situation, if we said, for example, hey, cylinder wall transceiver E, what's going on? Transceiver E, cylinder wall transceiver E would answer back nothing. If we said, well, okay, hey, cylinder wall transceiver F, what do you got going? Cylinder wall transceiver F would say, well, I, cylinder wall transceiver F, am in communication with piston transceiver 1. And they would say, okay, hey, piston transceiver 1, what are you up to? And piston transceiver 1 would say, I, piston transceiver 1, am speaking to cylinder wall transceiver F. The two of them can talk to each other, in addition to which the CPU system, since these are solid state integrated circuit microelectronic devices, they can be individually addressed. And say, for example, we went over here to piston transceiver 2 and said, hey, piston transceiver 2, what's cooking here? Piston transceiver 2 would say, well, I am in communication with cylinder wall transceiver I and cylinder wall transceiver H. And if we said, hey, cylinder wall transceiver H, give us your status here. Cylinder wall transceiver H would say, cylinder wall transceiver H, I am in communication with piston transceiver 2. I'm not picking up very much radio energy, but I am in communication with piston transceiver 2. And a cylinder wall transceiver I would have the same answer, saying, I'm in communication with piston transceiver 2. This is how this can be done.